my mentality, and I had to renew my mind. I had to renew the way I thought about my marriage to my husband. And when I began to renew my mind, it was okay if I didn't have his password. It was fine.
Yeah. And the thing is, what you said, unlocking or having your spouse or partner's phone number does not solve trust issue. Just because you get the password, that's not gonna solve the trust issue. And that's what it boils down to. If you feel like you entitled and it bothers you that you don't have the password to the phone or social media, that's a trust issue. And you getting that password is not gonna resolve that trust issue, because you're gonna find yourself every chance you get, checking up, and then you start wondering if they got another account somewhere.
Now, I didn't go that far.
Yeah, so it's not gonna solve your trust issue.
It won't.
It's just gonna feed the issue.
Right. Sharing passwords can feel good in a relationship if it helps remove any barriers and makes you feel more connected.
Yeah.
And so, my husband, as I said before, I wanted it, but then it was like when I stopped pressuring him for his password, he just started giving it to me. I mean, it was no big deal. It was no issue. When I just backed off and allowed God to do what He's supposed to do, and I wanted Him to do. And so he gave it to me. I have it. It's like no big deal. I don't even really use it.
Yeah. And then on the other thing is, most of my accounts is saved passwords where you don't even need a password to get to, especially my Facebook account and different things like that. But it's a matter of trust in a relationship that we have to start looking at. If we feel uneasy about the fact that, okay, I don't have your password, and I need it. I gotta have it. If I ain't got it, you must don't know what you doing, what you hiding, and those things needs to be talked about. And you getting the password ain't gonna solve the issue that you might be having, that underlying problem. And so sharing passwords shouldn't be used as a solution to any trust issues or lack of honesty. If your relationship is solid, sharing or not sharing passwords shouldn't have any impact one way or the other. If you got a solid relationship, it shouldn't even matter whether you don't have any of your partner's password at all. If your relationship is solid, and sometimes because your relationship is not solid, then you have to have access to every corner so you can look in to make sure that there's nothing amiss that you need to know about.
See, now that's the place that you and I were in.
Yeah.
Because our relationship wasn't solid at one time. And we were on shaky grounds. And so that's another reason I wanted the password. Because we were on very shaky grounds. We weren't getting along at all. Of course, we are solid now. We're on really excellent ground. Everything is beautiful. And so it doesn't bother me one way or the other if I have the password or not. Of course, like I say, he shared it with me, but that's what happens a lot of times. Your marriage is on shaky ground. It's not solid. And because of that reason, you're feeling a little insecure about how your spouse feel about you. And so you might ask for passwords so you can have some type of security, so you can feel like, oh yeah, they really do care about me because they're sharing some private things about themselves with me.
And if you and your partner decides to share each other's password with one another, then it should feel natural for you to be able to do it and not feel like you pressured to do it.
Mm-hmm, that's fine.
And you shouldn't. It shouldn't feel when you want it. It shouldn't be under the disguise that, okay, I want to spy on them. I want to check on them. I want to check up. If you have each other, sometimes when people trust each other, and even if they have each other's password to their phone, social media, because the relationship is solid and there's trust, they might never even use it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even though they have it, they might never even, because they don't feel the need that they need to check up on each other. And so, that's one of the things that we can look at to identify problems in our relationship. Look things like that. If I'm feeling that way, that okay, I need to find out, what kind of emails, text message my partners have. We need to look at that as something deeper, as far as some insecurity or suspicion that something's going on, and deal with the root of that problem before we think we can solve it by getting a password.
Right, like for him, he has my password, right, and so to my email and everything, and sometimes he'll come to me and say, "Grant, what is your email address again?" Or he might go to the bank and I might tell him to get some money out, and he'll call me. He's forgotten my password again, because it's no big deal to him. It's not like he's trying to check up on me or anything. And vice versa, same way with me. I might ask him his password again because we feel comfortable. And it's not like we're trying to check up on each other. Because if we did, we would always keep that password in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Amen.
Asking for your partner's password is a risky move that could easily be perceived as possessive, controlling, and untrusting. Did you feel that way when I asked you?
So it can be perceived.
It can be perceived. That's what it said.
As possessive,
controlling,
untrusting.
Controlling and untrusting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you perceive that?
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, anyone would. Especially if your partner is coming to you in such a way, consistently and almost demanding of it. And so, yeah, you start perceiving them as being a possessive and controlling person that don't trust you, because they want to check up on you, want to see what you're doing.
Now, I can say that I have always been a very pushy person. I go to the extreme sometimes. I go to the extreme, and he have to reel me back in. But I've gotten better with being pushy about certain things.
Yeah.
It could be perceived as being possessive, controlling, and trusting.
Yeah.
When deciding whether or not to share passwords, it's essential. Let me say it again. It's essential that both partners consent fully. So you have to be in agreement with this.
Yeah.
One can't feel like I should have your password, and the other one feel like, no, I'm not giving it to you. You have to give your consent fully about your spouse having your password. Amen?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that consent is, it's talking about, because sometimes we give in and do what our partner desires, but we really don't want
to do it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so We do it anyway.
We feel pressure.
We feel pressure
into doing it.
And so now you have a partner in a relationship that you pressured into doing something they really feel like they shouldn't have to do. And so even though they consented to doing it, they're feeling such a way about it. And anytime we leave our spouse in a situation where they've been pressured to do something, but they did it for the sake of keeping peace, sometimes that opened them up to resentment because of it. And the thing about resentment has a tendency of growing inside of you, like cancer.
And it turns to hate.
Yeah, it starts off, real subtle and small, and then as time goes, it gets bigger, where it becomes a big deal with them. And so you have to watch out for that when you pressure people into doing things in a relationship that they really don't want to do. Now, you might get your way because you pressured them, but it has left them wounded and infected by the pressure.
And that's why communication is so key. You really have to communicate with your partner. Let them know how you're feeling. See if you can come up with some resolution behind it, without feeling like you're just giving all your privacy away to your spouse. What works in my household may not work for your household. But we're just sharing with you some of the things that have worked for us.
Yeah.
And maybe you could take little bits from that could help you.
Yeah.
But it has worked for us to share our password, but not to be pressured into doing it.
Yeah.
Doing it freely because we love our spouse and an emergency might arise.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they may need access to it. And say, for instance, that your partner's been in a car accident. They can't get in your phone to find out any information. They can't get into your bank account. They can't get into anything. And so sometimes it's really, really good to share your password, but you must come to some type of agreement. Talk about it. Come up with a solution that it will satisfy the both of you.
Yeah.
Not one partner being happy and the other one being sad about it, but come up with a solution that you both can agree on.
Yeah, definitely. And the main thing is, let's stop pressuring our partners into doing things. Love and being in a relationship, love should be given freely, and everything else that comes with that love should be freely given. And when we pressure people into doing things, we damage the relationship.
Right.
It's no longer healthy because no one wants to be pressured into doing anything. People loving to do things and not being pressured into doing things.
That's right.
And so whether or not you have your partner's password, it's certainly totally up to you and your relationship and how you guys work things out. It's not a big deal unless it's a big deal.
Right.
And it's not something that's in the marriage book that okay, hey, y'all got to exchange, phone passwords and social. It's up to you two guys, but do it. Talk about it in such a way that whatever decision you make, that it's okay with both of you.
Right, and if it's causing some really bad issues in your marriage, like my husband said, you should work on it, communicate about it, because you need to do everything you can to fight for your marriage. don't allow passwords to be the cause of a divorce.
Yeah.
You know, don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, fight for your marriage. Make sure you do all that you can to stay together to death do you part.
Yeah. And see, you ruined your marriage for password.
Right.
And then there's a split and your partner, they change the password, so you ain't got the password, you ain't got the spouse.
Yeah. Amen.
Hey, don't do it. Fight for your marriage.
Amen.
Do whatever you can to keep peace in your house. Amen.
Amen. Don't forget to subscribe, like our channel. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Amen.
Amen. God bless you.
God bless you. Bye.
The thing ain't live.
It ain't live.
I say it's a good thing I'm not